minutes ago, I got something I'm gonna make some room for. So there is an org. They do this amazing, we had an older version, you may have seen me show it off before. Delta Consulting Aviation Products. They make air traffic controller manuals for every landing zone and POI in the Stanton system. The one I've had for the last 5 years is one of my absolute most treasured items, and the guy just showed up and handed me another one. So I don't know what I'm leaving behind from my luggage, but we're gonna have some like Survivor style, you must leave the island. So we're leaving something behind. So with this, let's take a look at Sol Armato here. Sol Armato is one of the community orgs that have a booth here. I don't have time to interview. We got to get to the show. I just want to see your jacket. Yeah. Show us your jacket.
Big mini patch from our Citizen.
The Star Citizen. That's the killer. You got a giant Invictus patch. So, what legal clearance did you get in order to make that?
Absolutely nothing. I'm sorry. It's one of one.
Toast! He's floating around here somewhere. I won't tell him if you don't. All right, let's come on over here to what is this? Altama Energy. You might have seen Sigelian from Altama Energy in the cosplay contest before we went to lunch. Altama, how you doing, guys?
You? Yes.
I noticed this full-size Starfarer in Lego. I will trade you a flight deck man. No, I'm just kidding. There's no way I'd get that back through customs or survive on my luggage. And then, of course, over here, we have Atlas Defense Industries. Oh, hi, Jesse.
Hi, how you doing,
How you doing?
Jared?
I work with Jesse in the office. We have Atlas Defense Industries over here. What do you guys got going on?
Oh, we got a raffle going on, so if you haven't come by, sign up for
You got a raffle?
Yeah, we're giving away 3D printed stuff, so I printed out some awesome stuff like this Tiger's Claw here. I've got a little Pisces here, and then some 3D printed artwork here that I've done up. So if you want to come over and get in the raffle, we're also giving out a ship at 5. And we're giving out every hour, so come on over.
What happens if I win?
Oh, well then you get an awesome back rub from our lovely JDM.
All right. You might think Jared's being really bad at this and he's not putting the microphone in front of this guy's face, but he just offered me a back rub, and it was just better if that didn't go out on the live stream. Okay, we got one more thing to check out. What is this?
For you to take home.
This is for me to take home? What is this, touch me?
Are you gonna make room for it?
Touch me? Oh my goodness. Wow.
Oh, wait.
Wait. Oh.
There's an Easter egg.
Can't. It's just like my book. Wow. At this point, I'm legitimately so tired I don't have anything to offer in retort. This is just dang cool. Oh, all right, so I'm in my ear. It's time to return back to Hall A. Talking Ship with John Crew, Ben Curtis, Ellen Batchelor Jr., and Mark Gibson is coming up. So stay tuned. After that, Navigating the Universe with members of our UI team. And like I said at the beginning, everything you were thinking you were gonna see, you're gonna see that and more. So stay tuned. That's coming up next. I'm gonna sit down and have a refreshing beverage. Take care, everybody.
Whenever someone is in need of hope, you can feel it in the atmosphere. The spirit of Crusader. Keeping the universe safe and secure. Forge the future you want to see. The A1 spirit from Crusader Industries.
So Leute, und damit herzlich willkommen zurück.
Hi
Es
everyone.
geht weiter. Talking Ships. Und ja, Paco, sehr, sehr gerne. Gucke ich mir gerne nächste Woche an. Habe ich Bock drauf.
My
Das
name's
wär
John
super.
Crew. I'm the vehicle director here at Cloud Imperium Games.
And my name is Ben Curtis. I am the vehicle art director at CIG.
So we're going to spend the next 45 minutes talking ship. We're going to show you some cool stuff that you've hopefully seen, some cool stuff that you're not supposed to have seen, but you probably already have, and some cool stuff, again, you're not supposed to have seen, but what you've seen is wrong. So hopefully we can...
Ist das
Clear
gerade
that
einfach
up
nur
for you.
irgendwie ein Seitenhieb gegen
Right,
Leaks
so
oder
that was
was ist das hier?
the A1 Spirit trailer. Pretty cool video. But we're now going to do a bit of a slightly deeper dive into the actual art and visuals of the ship.
As we move into the heart of the ship, this area is kind of like really dominated by those 10 sci-fi bombs. And then we go straight into engineering, where you find the rest of the ship components that it needs.
Wo sie nicht
Up
sind.
front, we've got a completely fully featured habitation area, suit lockers, weapon lockers, pod beds, everything you're going to need. And then right at the cockpit, we have a two-pilot cockpit, and I think the Crusader engineers have done a fantastic job of putting everything that the pilot needs right at their fingertips. So, you know, in the heat of battle, you kind of might just eke out that advantage. Exterior-wise, it's classic Crusader. We've got our recessed weapons.
Ich liebe es, dass die
We've
Waffen
got our
einfahrbar sind.
rear-mounted remote
Und diese
turret.
Triebwerke. Oh.
And then
Aber auch
underneath
von
is
innen. Perfekt.
all business.
Alles,
We've got
alles
the
gut.
missile racks, and we've got the big bomb bays.
Also ist gut geworden, rot und gut,
And I
soweit ich
think
das beurteilen
overall,
kann.
you know,
So.
Crusader have done it again. They've done a amazing job of packaging something that's like super feature rich and something stylish, sleek, looks fast, but still super aggressive. And then here is one last look. Oh, or not. Okay, that was one last look of the interior.
Trigger there. So we had a really cool cutaway that you half saw. I'm sure we can show you that again later.
Ey, so ein Cutaway dafür
If you like what you
ist
saw
irgendwie
there,
voll cool.
that is available now on that link, and a QR code there that hopefully takes you to the right place. So that is available in Alpha 321, which went live Thursday.
Oh ja,
I've honestly
freu mich
lost
auch drauf,
track
sie mal
of time
auszufliegen.
the last few days. So yeah, that's the current. Let's talk about something a bit further in the past. So, we have a timeline here from the today all the way through to today in game. And throughout that time period, we have our manufacturers in law, starting with RSI in the very near future, going all the way through to Mirai, which is this year in game. And
fehlen aber ein
over
paar.
that, we have some very old ships, ships that people think are quite old. We have the Hornet, we have the Aurora, and we have the Gladius. However, as
Die
you can see,
Aurora ist
there is
neuer als
quite a gap
Gladius?
from the current day to these old ships. So let's talk about one that is a bit older than that.
Die Zeus.
So, the RSI Zeus.
Zeus.
So, in 2130, hold on. In
Was fliegt denn da schon im
2130,
Hintergrund?
RSI made some major kind of advancements in quantum technology. They developed, or they released, the first ship that was kind of available to the mass market that had quantum capability. This kind of mid-range explorer really put RSI at the kind of forefront of ship development. Now, it was a really good thing, you know, it really kind of boosted them as a company, but it wasn't kind of all good. The original RSI Zeus had some major issues with its hull integrity. That being said, there's always kind of been this demand for RSI to release the Zeus. It's kind of
stimmt.
had this cult following that's grown up over the years. I'm kind of very happy to announce today that RSI have kind of taken that challenge on board. They've developed a whole new vehicle that is designed to ferry a whole new generation of travelers across our universe. Visually, it's something that pays homage back to the original Zeus and something that's really is justified to have that name.
Seht ihr übrigens
And
auch
I'm
diesen
even happier to say
Fingerabdruck auf
it
diesem
exceeds
Coin?
all current safety standards and all our current ship production techniques.
So, do you want to have a look at the all-new RSI Zeus Mark II?
Ja, auf jeden Fall, neues Schiff. Ich liebe es, Hommage an Klassiker. Es sieht
Here it
überhaupt
is.
nicht aus wie der Klassiker. Egal, sieht trotzdem cool aus.
So, we are going to hand over to Elwin and Mark.
Das
to
sieht ganz
go
wie ganz
through
andere
this,
Schiffe aus.
And you can see there's 3 of them there. So we're going to do a bit of a deeper dive onto these 3 ships now. So, over to Mark and Elwin.
Was ist die Rolle?
Let's give them a welcome. Come on,
Ich
go,
kann es nicht
go.
genau erkennen. Also wofür ist das Schiff? Da, ist das ein Aurora-Competitor? Sieht cool aus, wird
Hello
gekauft.
everyone, my
Okay.
name is Mark Gibson. I'm the lead vehicle content designer at Cloud Imperium Games.
Es sieht auf jeden Fall cool aus, ja.
And I'm Owen Batchelor, Vehicle Art Director in North America.
Übrigens,
What do you guys think?
dass der Ton so asynchron ist, das liegt nicht an mir, das ist
Awesome.
einfach im Stream so leider.
All right, well, let's take some time now and take a look
Für
at
die
this
Cutlass,
classic
okay,
RSI
interessant.
design and see how we've reimagined it.
So, when we decided we wanted to tackle the Zeus, we had to consider what direction RSI would take it in if they were going to do it today. We couldn't just remake the original Zeus because, although it was obviously a massive piece of history, all it was really used was transporting and moving around. So we had
Ja,
to
und wofür
consider
benutzen wir unsere
exactly
Schiffe
what we
jetzt?
wanted to do with the ship. In the end, we decided to go for 3 variants, allowing you to pick which way you want to actually play the game. So what we're going to do is talk about those variants that we decided on in the end and go into a bit more detail with them. First of all, we have the ES. The ES is the essential. It's the long-range exploration version of the Zeus. It's designed to let you go out for a long time and explore the universe. Next up, we have the Mark. The Mark is the bounty hunter version. This is there for you so you can actually go out, find your targets, and bring them back. It's also been purposely outfitted so that you have all the tools that you need to disable, capture, and bring them home. Finally, the last version we're going to talk about is the CL, the Clipper. Might be a name people are familiar with if they know much about maritime. This is the cargo version of the Zeus Mark II.
Mir
This
gefällt der
is
Skin.
designed so that you can move your goods around the universe.
Of the 3 variants, the Zeus Essential is the one that harkens back the most to the original design with the original white on black paint job and the vertical stabilizers. We also worked to maintain the silhouette of the original, but brought that forward to modern day RSI design with tons of technical detail and layered panels. And on the underside, the landing gear and the underslung turret, as well as the entrance ladder, fold in perfectly flush, leaving behind a super smooth underbelly, just like the original design.
But you probably all want to see what the inside looks like. So
Ja,
let's have a
das-
closer look.
Okay, okay. Ich würde hier gerne pausieren am liebsten.
The
Okay, wir haben-
sleek and slim body of the Zeus, we've been able to pack a lot into it to give everything you need when you're doing the deep space exploration.
Voll cool.
You have
Also
a
ist ja
fairly
wirklich wie eine
comfortable
Freelancer.
habitation recreation area so that when you're out away from home, it's not too unpleasant. In addition to that, the rear room has a 32 SU cargo capacity, as well as being able to fit a cyclone, so if you do decide to land on our planet, you can have a look around. Talking about the loadout, it's a ship designed for 3 crew. It comes with 4 size 2 shield generators, 2 size 2 power plants, 2 size 2 coolers, and 2
Drei Sitze
size
vorne.
4 pilot-controlled weapons. And obviously the lower turret that Elva mentioned earlier is a size 3 remote turret.
Okay. Ist ordentlich
Now,
bewaffnet.
the Zeus Mark
Kann man
was
schon
always
sagen.
designed from the beginning to be a sleek and aggressive bounty hunter. As such, the black paint will help you stay hidden in the shadows until you're ready to strike. We've also redesigned the spine in order to embed an EMP and a quantum dampener, which allows us on the art side to really crank up the level of detail on the exterior. We've also added a second remote turret on the top.
Looking at the interior of the Mark, you see that
Immer noch sehr
the
viel
habitation's
Raum,
taken a little bit of a
Lagerraum.
hit. It moved forward, but what we've been able to add in exchange for that is a massive armory. Let you take all the different weapons and equipment you might need while you're tracking your target along the verse. Looking
Geil.
into the rear, we actually have a dedicated area just for the actual bounty hunter pods, similar to what you'll see in the Cutlass Blue.
Das
So you
könnte
can
echt das
stack up
beste
the
Bounty
pods
Hunter
and
Schiff
take
werden,
multiple
oder?
people back
Also,
with you.
das hat ja
It
alles.
has less SCU than the ES. It only has 16 SCU. And it does have a different loadout with the
Guten Abend,
components,
WhatsApp.
only having 3 size 2 shield generators. Like Owen said, it does have a top-mounted forward-facing turret so that you can put the pressure on the target as you're chasing them. The EMP and QD drive are designed to stop the target escaping once you've caught up with them.
Das runde direkt hinter dem Cockpit ist, glaube ich, die
Now, because the
Ausstiegsleiter.
Zeus Clipper focuses on hauling
glaub, das ist ein
cargo, we've
Seitenausstieg
decided to
vorne.
lean into the industrial aesthetic. We've covered the exterior with a warning strip paint job, and we've covered the exterior with more technical detail and armor plating. In addition to that, it comes with a remote tractor beam, which is mounted on the rear to the side of the ramp to make it easier to haul cargo in and out of the cargo hold. We've also added thrust capacity to the base of the wings.
As you can see, there is an absolutely massive rear to it compared to the others. The habitation areas have been massively pushed so that you don't get much space, but we can get way more cargo in. It actually has 4 times the cargo capacity of the S, coming in at 128 SUs of cargo. This one also features 3 size 2 shield generators, and like Al mentioned, it has a size 3 tractor beam to make it much easier to get those cargo containers in and out as you're actually playing. What do you think?
Ja, also ist geil, oder? Also gefällt mir richtig gut. Ist nicht unbedingt mein. Es ist mir ein bisschen zu dreieckig. Aber davon abgesehen, so vom Interieur her, scheint es richtig
Last
cool zu
year,
sein.
we introduced the Spirit. And if anyone that may be playing on live the last couple of days might have seen a new ship added to
Also
the
ich würde
verse,
mir die
the A1.
ES holen.
We hope to follow a similar route with the Zeus, where we announce it today, and then in about a year's time, ready to reveal to the public, to actually play with. But this isn't just a concept. We're not just going to show you some images. The Zeus
Wow.
is actually in active white box development
Okay,
right
ist
now.
noch nicht fertig. Ich
Do you just want to have a
dachte.
look? Shall we?
Okay, na dann let's go.
Okay.
Ich dachte straight to flyable, das wäre natürlich cool. Aber das ist schon ziemlich weit.
All right, so as you guys have seen with the Spirit and with the many ships we've released thus far, our ships can, when they're finished, look absolutely gorgeous. But before any of them get to that point, they have to go through a very specific development process, and this is the first stage in that process. We call this white box. At this point, we've taken the concept, ripped it to shreds, and then reassembled it and plugged it all back together within the editor so that we can get a real good look at what players are going to see when they finally get this game. At this stage, with the Zeus, we've already ripped out all the thrusters, we've ripped out the landing gear, the turret, the seats, the beds, all of the interior spaces, plugged those guys back in, and we have what you see here.
Der Greybox wäre natürlich noch spannender gewesen.
So again,
aber,
the beginning of the process. At this point, we're able to jump in, start throwing in cargo, interacting with doors, getting in and out of beds, maybe in and out of toilets, and just getting an overall sense of what it feels like to interact with the vehicle. And it is very common that in this stage, we will make some adjustments from the original plan. As an example, on this ship, we've just made the decision to expand the center corridor, add a little bit more space to the rooms.
Hoffentlich ist das da ein
And as a
Fenster.
result, that's going to make it much smoother experience for players to traverse the interior of the
süß
ship,
mit der Küche-
as well
Küche.
as for AI to traverse the interior of the ship. We've also expanded the main airlock that leads to the enter-exit ladder. And up here in the cockpit, we've separated the co-pilot seats a tad bit just to allow players to get in and out a little easier. So with White Box, not the prettiest stage in the process, but it is essential that we nail this because it means we'll be able to deliver a beautiful
Marco, ich
ship
weiß
that
es
is
nicht,
also extremely
warum
fun to
da
play.
Rampe und Treppe sich abwechselt. Aber, naja. Mal sehen, wie es dann wirklich wird. Ich find, die Constellation bräuchte von außen gar keine Arbeit, die bräuchte von innen Arbeit. Ich finde es nicht schlimm, dass die ein bisschen in die Tage gekommen aussieht.
So that was
Ich
the
find das
RSI
charmant,
Zeus
ehrlich
in
gesagt.
the 3 variants.
Aber
Obviously, as the screen says behind me,
würde mir bestimmt
available
auch
now
gefallen, wenn sie
on the Star
reworked
Citizen
wären.
website. You all follow that URL or the QR code behind me.
Ja, stimmt. Hat was von der großen Arrow.
Now, we've just talked about the ship with the longest legacy in the universe. It was the first ship with the quantum travel. let's change pace a little bit and talk about a much newer ship. We're going to talk about the Cutter.
Ah, die Cutter-Varianten.
Good little ship. So, obviously, last year, IEE, we unveiled the Cutter, and you guys seem to love it. Some interesting information about
total
it.
solide.
It was actually the single most popular straight-to-flight ready ship we've ever released. You guys
Ach,
really,
krass,
really
wirklich?
liked it. In addition to
Das
that,
hätte ich
it's
nicht
actually the
gedacht.
best-selling Drake ship to date. But
Was?
what people didn't know,
Wirklich?
and we kept a very good guarded secret that no one managed to figure out, no one. It was always meant to be a family of 3. Now,
Ich hätte gedacht, das
what
wäre
everyone
die
is already
Cutlass.
familiar with is the base. That's the version that's out in the universe right
bestverkaufte.
now that you're already enjoying. What we're going to do today, though, is we're going to talk about the next variant in the family, the Scout.
Ja, die Leaks haben natürlich alle Varianten und Interieurs
All right,
schon
let's just take a minute
rausgehauen.
and sort of
aber
enjoy the incredible work that the art team has done pushing this guy out.
schön, wie sich der Radartisch da so hochfährt, wie bei der Mercury.
When the original Scout was, when the original Cutter was released, it helped us to
Oder sitzt es da
refine the
einfach
Drake
fest oben
aesthetic.
drauf?
And now with the variants, we'll be able to add a unique identity to each version. On the Scout, we've decided to replace the main thrusters with a dual
Doch, das
thruster
ist ein
system.
Engine Mozart, oder? Wie kommst du drauf?
And you'll see here we've also added a radar dish to the top, which relates
Ja, nee,
directly
okay,
to the
das-
scanning gameplay that comes with this
Ja.
ship. In addition to that, we have a series of exterior bottom modifications to just push that flavor a little bit further. And you'll see here a transition between the default and the Scout, so you can clearly see the differences.
Ja, es sind halt so kleine Änderungen, aber das ist nett, finde ich immer bei Varianten. Triebwerke gefallen mir bei der normalen ein bisschen besser, aber so ein lustiger Heckspoiler.
On the interior, we've expanded the rear section of the ship in order to include a dedicated standing scanning station, which will show up here in a second. Along with that, we've also increased the space in the rear to house the larger components that are necessary to support that gameplay.
Hey, Octo.
Now, expanding the rear did encroach into the habitation, but we were able to rearrange the components in that room so that nothing was lost in the transition. And on the cockpit, it's the same cockpit that you all know and love from the original Cutter. From this view, you'll more clearly see the shift
super
that we had to
krasse,
make in the rear in order to support the gameplay that we're
Schläuche,
trying to achieve.
Marco. Mach dir keine Sorgen. Das sind Drake-Schläuche. Die sind aus hochmodernem
We're really
Superpapier.
proud of what the team has done with this ship, and we hope you like the Scout as much as we do.
Ja, so solide. So, also. Ist cool.
So, obviously, we've just introduced the Scout. What are the main differences between the base? It is a variant after all. So the first big difference is the radar. It has a size 2 radar, and to supply that, it comes with a size 2 power plant and a size 2 cooler. Getting tripped on my own words. As well as the dedicated scan terminal that Ella mentioned earlier. Obviously, as you saw, habitation got a little bit cozier, and unfortunately, it has lost 2 SCU compared to the base, so it only has 2 SCU cargo capacity instead of the 3. Now, what we also want to do is talk a little bit more about the future of scanning, if people are interested in hearing about that.
Ja. Interessant, dass das in dem Panel jetzt passiert. Auf jeden Fall. Was geht mit
So
Scanning?
what is the future of scanning? We'll touch on it lightly. At the moment, there are 2 main ways for you to interact with the scanning gameplay loops. The first one's obviously the scan, and the second one's the ping system. Both of these are going to be merged into a single system known as a scan wave. When you send a scan wave out, if you get any successful pings, what will happen is it will immediately populate your HUD with an AR marker, giving you information about what you've been able to scan, as well as starting to give you far more interesting information than you get now, rather than just the name of the ship. The underlying system will work on the signature system, similar to what it does today. And there are two main scans. There is the quick scan. The quick scan is just a low version of it. It has a very small impact on your own signal output. So if you want to stay a little bit more covert and potentially not be seen looking at something you shouldn't, you can use that one instead. The main benefits are small increase to your actual passive detection range, as well as being able to detect things that maybe are a little fainter than you should be able to see. This has a decent amount of cutting through interference, but not phenomenal. The other version is the charge scan. The charge scan is the big scan. Now, this will actually allow you to detect things up to quantum boost range, which is way, way further than the current passive detection range. And not only that, but it'll actually drop a marker allowing you to jump straight to that location for whatever it is that you found.
Das ist cool.
Now,
Die
you
Zeug ist im
don't
Shop,
want to be jumping in
natürlich.
blind. And as I said, it's
Gucken wir
going
uns
to
dann
give you
an.
way more information than it did before. Some examples, but not limited to this, are things like whatever it is it charging a quantum drive? Is it firing? Is the shields generating? Does it have any shields? Is it perhaps charging an EMP? Maybe it's got a snare up trying to catch you. It gives you that additional information so you can make the decision whether you actually want to get to that location. That's just a brief glimpse into the future of scanning and what our vision is for it. Right now, the Cutter Scout is actually in 321. It's available. If you go to that address or go to our website, QR code, it's actually in the universe right now. You don't need to wait for a patch for that. I've been Mark.
And I'm Elwin. And before we step off, if you haven't had a chance to get one of these hats, this one in particular is signed by 7 members of the ship development team. And if you want it, during the meet and greet, if you can tell me the name of the 7 people who signed this, all of who are in attendance here, by the way, today, the first person to give me those names gets to keep it. Other than that, thanks, guys, and have a great CitizenCon.
Small hit for you. John Crew is one of those names. Well, fantastic, guys, everyone. We're going to hand you back to John and Ben. They've got a few more surprises for you.
Ja, mehr Schiffe. Gebt uns Schiffe. Wir wollen euch Geld geben. Gebt uns Schiffe.
Right. So, as Mark said there, scanning stuff is coming in the future. We didn't show a lot of it because it does sort of turn up in some other teams' panels, and we didn't want to steal their glory a day early. So I highly recommend sticking around for both the UI one and the flight one tomorrow. So, we've talked about the past, we've talked about the present. Let's talk about the future. So, here is a big block of squares that represents our backlog. So, each one of these squares
So sieht's gar
is a
nicht so
ship
schlimm
or a
aus.
vehicle. All the light blue ones are all the ones we have released to date. All those gray ones are the ones that we have not done yet. The dark blue ones are the ones that will be in your hands by the end of the year. So, we have over 200 vehicles for us to
Sie
support
kann
as
das
a
nicht
vehicle
überprüfen, ob
content
ich mir
team.
Schiffe kaufe. Von daher,
For those of you that are trying to do the maths in your head right now, going, that's the wrong number. This includes
ihr wisst doch, dass ich keine 100 Euro
every
mehr
single
jetzt
vehicle
ausgebe. Ich habe genug
that
Geld
we've
ins
ever
Spiel
shown
gesteckt.
to you, whether that's in a Squadron 42 visual tease or like
Hier und da mal vielleicht ein paar Euro,
a
aber
trailer.
ich kaufe
Some
mir
of them
nicht
are
mehr für
obviously Squadron
300 Euro
exclusives,
eins
some of them
oder
are going to
so.
be NPC exclusives. We still have to support them all. So every vehicle in the game, we have our hands on, and we do a lot of work to support them for you. Not the only thing we do. We obviously introduce new content like the Mirai Fury. We deliver previous promised content. And as you'll see today and tomorrow, we do a lot of gameplay support. So obviously we help out. Ships are like the heroes of the game. You saw in the Resource Network engineering panel how that's going to impact ships. You will have seen, if you've been paying super close attention, some UI elements to do with maps. Stay tuned for that. We do all that.
Morgen
So we
geht's
do
um
a
Maps.
lot of work across all aspects of both projects. And to do all that, we need to do a few things.
Okay, yeah, so John's talked a bit about the backlog. I'm going to kind of take a little bit, how are we going to deliver this? So in April 2023, we actually kicked off a new ship team in our newest studio, Turbulent, based out of Montreal. Yeah, go Canada. So we've now got 5 artists, or vehicle artists, 1 vehicle designer, 1 embedded QA
Danke,
tester,
Mozart,
and 1
für deine
producer.
Unterstützung.
And that kind of gives us everything we need to start bringing content out of another location.
Naja, es war ja auch schon viel mehr als eine
And it
PowerPoint-Präsentation,
also
aber
means
jetzt
that we
gerade
now
halt
have
nicht.
kind of reps globally for the vehicle content team in all 5 of our
Zwischendurch gibt es die
studios.
ganzen Infos auch in
What's the really
PowerPoint-Präsentationen.
nice thing about that is it kind of opens up a new pool of kind of talent that we can pick
Wir
from.
hatten schon eine Menge coole
And it
Videos.
should really help us to deliver some more content to the game. And you've actually just seen the first 2 ships out of that studio. So the Scout variant and
da kommt noch
the
viel mehr
Zeus are
Spannendes.
both being developed by our Montreal team. Yeah, they're doing great. We're going to look a little bit more in depth at the art team and how we've grown over the years. You can see from this graph, this is our kind of like live numbers of how many vehicle artists we have dedicated to the project. You can see there's a nice trajectory going up. And with more team members, that also means we get kind of like not just more people to throw at stuff, but we get more experience.
Ich finde es interessant, dass sie zwischendurch immer wieder so viele verloren haben.
That
Aber das
allows
ist wohl
us
normal.
to kind of tackle our larger, kind of more complex ships. You will notice there in 2022, there is a little dip. And unfortunately, when that happens, that has kind of real consequences on what we are able to do.
Das sind eine
as a
ganze Menge
team.
Leute, die da auf einmal weg waren.
I think, less people, so less power to put on stuff, but also some of that knowledge leaves us. With that leads us to have to make some kind of pretty hard and heavy decisions about what we're working on. And I think
Danke, Süßi.
most recently and probably most well known is the Bounty Merchantman. Yeah. Now,
War
we're
klar,
going
dass
to
sie
take
davon
a
was
quick
zeigen.
look at where we got to with the Merchantman, just to show where we were up to before that happened in 2022.
Planetare Dockingstation, wann? So, ich mach mal alles weg, damit ihr es in voller Pracht genießen könnt. Ein paar Defenders fliegen da rum. Ja, sieht geil aus. Ist ja nicht so meins, die Alien-Styles, aber ich kann schon erkennen, dass vor allem die Auswahl der Materialien und so, generell die Banu-Materialien sind richtig cool. Und das ist interessant, die mal auf so einer großen Fläche zu sehen. Und die waren ja wirklich schon so weit mit dem Schiff. Sehr, sehr schade, dass das da nicht geklappt hat. Und mir gefällt die Formsprache sehr gut, viel besser als noch in den Konzeptzeichnungen. Engineering hier, Antrieb, was auch immer, aber natürlich hier sind sie nicht so weit gekommen offenbar. Der Urnenraum, keine Ahnung. Das ist die Brücke. Ich glaube, da geht's zu dem Turm, der oben rausschwebt. Ja, da ist der Turmeinstieg. Voll der Waste of Space. Ja, Barty, da geht's auch darum, also hat Barty geschrieben, da geht's darum, dass die Banu ja auch gerne ihren Reichtum damit zeigen. Und für die ist das ja wie ein zweites Zuhause. Also es gehört ja irgendwie zum Konzept dazu. Buddy schreibt, ich mag die Retaliator mit dem U-Boot-Feeling. Ja, kennt man genauso. Ich finde das auch cooler. Ist auch mehr meins. Aber ich meine, ich kann das trotzdem hier genießen. Will auf jeden Fall, dass die Spieler, die das genauso haben möchten, auch bekommen. Und ich gehe dann auch gerne auf eine Merchantman und kaufe was ein. Also von daher, jedem das seine. Manche lieben die ja wirklich abgöttisch. Hier sind sie schon in diesem Badezimmerraum-Ding da. Nee, ich glaube, das ist die Med Station oder so. Sind sie relativ weit gekommen. Und das sieht halt so hart nach Farscape aus. Wer das kennt. Hier gibt es auch so einen Raum mit so einem Bad. Keine Ahnung. Ja, da sind sie auf jeden Fall sehr weit gekommen. Aber da haben natürlich auch noch eine Menge Räume gefehlt. Na gut, und was ist damit jetzt?
So that video shows where we got up to with the Merchantman. You can see we'd finished white box. We were kind of into grey box. Some areas were further than others.
Ja, dieses
And
Organische.
I think
Das
one
ist
of the
so
best
voll
things about working in a
Banu-Style.
company like Cloud Imperium Games is that we're able to be pretty honest and pretty open with our development.
Und im Paco hat sich schon die
One
Zeus
of the biggest
gekauft.
questions we get is, what's up with the Merchantman? Where is it? Why did it stop? And the Merchantman brought a lot of unique challenges to us. It was a completely new art style, something that's very, very different from what we normally do with our human manufacturers. I think, we could have paused other ships.
Ja, die ist
We
auch,
could have moved
glaube ich, die beste
some of
Variante.
our other artists onto the
Spekuliere ich
Merchantman.
jetzt mal.
But with the kind of exodus
Gemütlichste
of our kind of senior
Spawn-Areal.
team in 2022, we didn't just lose people, we lost a lot of the knowledge that went into building out that white box and really kind of delivering that art style. What we decided to do at the time is rather than try and rush something out and just get something out to get it done, we looked at where we were, and for us, the most important thing was growing our team back up. We wanted to invest in our team and use our seniors and our kind of managers to help get us up to the point where we can tackle multiple large and capital ships at one time.
Ja,
I
das
think
müssen
the
sie nämlich,
graph
weil vor allem die
previously
großen
kind
Schiffe
of
sind noch
showed that,
übrig zu tun.
We've got the head numbers now, and now it's about onboarding our new staff members. It's about skilling them up and getting them to the point. And I would absolutely love to be stood here on stage and going, yeah, look at the Merchantman, it's amazing, like it's done. But we're not at that point just yet. We do see all the comments, I do see all the notes about it, and I absolutely want to get this ship out and done. I just wanted to be open and honest as to where we are up to with the development.
Yeah. To add to that, it is probably the most question I get asked at any event, and I really want to get it done, get it out for you guys, but we don't want to give you a half-baked thing. We want to give you a really great product that we can all be proud of, and it's delivered alongside gameplay. So, let's talk about something else quickly. So, Squadron 42 vehicles.
Ja, was ist damit? Nichts, weil Squadron 42 noch
How
nicht
many of
draußen ist.
you have an Idris of some kind?
Oder was? Ja, mit der F8C haben sie es ja jetzt auch anders
right.
gemacht. Also kriegen wir jetzt alle eine Idris?
We plan to deliver the Idris alongside the Squadron, and that doesn't mean just the M. We're going to deliver the M, the P, and the K kit all together in one delivery.
Okay, gut. Verhaltenes Klatschen, weil alle so, haben wir
Javelin
sowieso
owners, I'm
erwartet.
afraid, you're going to have to wait a bit longer after that, is obviously the bigger ship players can own. And we have recently looked at what is left to deliver on it. We've got plans. There will be modularity
Ja,
with
eine
it.
50 für die Zeus-Kit.
And yeah, that will come after Squadron releases. And those of you who also have the Vandal Scythe, Blade, after Squadron releases, you will also get the updated models as well for that.
Sehr gut. Weil die abgedateten Schiffsmodelle von den Vandal-Schiffen sind so geil.
Okay, no kind of ship panel at a CitizenCon event is kind of done without looking at what's coming up next. Previously, we used to do these kind of like silhouettes, But we kind of always felt they were a little bit predictable. We ended up just making most of them anyway. So last year we changed things up. We asked what manufacturer do we want to see make our next large mining ship. And you're going to see more about that at IAE next month. But again, this year we decided just to mix things up a little
neues
bit
Mining-Schiff
with how we wanted to deliver
Intergalactic
this.
Aerospace Expo.
So you're about to see in a minute a video. It shows some ships you might recognize. Hopefully, it will show you some that you don't recognize. But feel free to get on Spectrum afterwards, take a look, give us a guess at what you think they might be, because we'd love to hear your input.
And I would just add to that as well.
Das eine oder andere
We aim to
Alien-Ship ist
deliver
schon ziemlich gut.
everything you see
Auf
in this
jeden Fall.
video and more in the next 12 months.
Okay, die X1. Freuen wir uns drauf. Ursa Rover. Ich finde das gerade ein bisschen weird. Was passiert hier gerade? Argo. Nicht SAV. MPUV. Das ist eventuell die Zeus. Weiß ich nicht. Keine Ahnung. Das kann ich nicht einschätzen, was das ist. Das ist die... Fällt mir gerade nicht ein, hier Docking-Dings. Miguel, danke für deinen Follow. Oder ist das hier die... Nee, das war die Spirit. Es geht zu schnell. Retaliator. Was haben wir denn da? Was ist denn das? Warte mal, ist das die neue... Ist das die neue Constellation oder was?
I don't know if you noticed,
Oh
but there's
nö.
quite a big ship at the end of that video. And yeah, just to confirm, that is the Polaris.
Ja, das ist die Polaris. Ich fand, das sah so klein aus. Und die Gondeln, die waren so weit weg. Nee, dann bin ich zufrieden. Weil wenn das die Polaris ist, cool. Weil das sah aus wie eine Polaris.
So yeah, okay. Just wanted to touch again on why are we doing an RSI ship? Like, what is with that? So
seht ihr, da ist das
the thing
nicht
about
so
doing
richtig auf
another
Gondeln
RSI
dran
ship
hier.
is that we've got a
Also
really
da hat sich einiges
well-established
geändert wohl.
art style for RSI in our universe, and it gives us the ability to kind of train up newest members of the teams on something that's kind of quite a known element. That is absolutely not the only benefit, though. The way we are planning on tackling the Polaris is not tackling it as one ship, but actually we want to tackle, well, anyone that knows our backlog knows we have a number of large RSI ships on there. And our kind of plan is that we tackle that as a family of ships. We don't just tackle one of them and then we go off and do something else for 6 months, a year, come back and do another one, something else, come back and do another one. We want to tackle them all together, one after the other. And what that really allows us to do is just kind of streamline our development process.
Und dann
We're able to,
Also
for
Conny,
our more
Reihe.
common areas of the ship, we're able to build kits that we're confident in, that we can reuse and we can make the most out of them. And then that allows us to focus our development time and our efforts really on the much more unique and the important and exciting areas of each ship. Tackling them as a family kind of allows us to expedite their development. We leverage the experience that we've got within the team. And it just allows us to, like I say, streamline everything. So first up, we've got the Polaris. Next up, we've got the Galaxy. Then we've got the Perseus. And that kind of closes out most of our large RSI ships. And then we can see what we want to take on after that.
Oh, kein Conny.
Well,
Rework,
I think
leider.
that's pretty much everything we want to talk about today. However, before we go, we're going to... Torsten's already stolen the predictable joke here. So we'll do one last thing to show you guys. So let's have a look at the current state of the Polaris in engine in its white box state.
Auch Whitebox, okay. Nö, es ist doch relativ... Es hat kleine Flügelchen, die sich einklappen. Das ist ja süß. Nice, das wird gerade so viele Leute so massiv freuen. Ich finde die Polaris ja auch cool, aber ich weiß, dass einige Leute seit Jahren so hart auf die Polaris warten. Ja. Vermutlich hauptsächlich einfach, weil sie einen Hangar hat und große Torpedos. Der Hangar sah jetzt wirklich ziemlich groß aus. So, haben wir Engineering hier. Warte mal, hinten raus Torpedos noch oder was? Habe ich gerade verpasst. Also wir haben uns entschieden, die Polaris hat jetzt nur noch Torpedos, die nach hinten schießen. Nee, oder war das jetzt vorne? Haben wir uns irgendwann gedreht? Ich weiß es nicht. Ich bin verwirrt. Ah, okay, natürlich. Natürlich zerstört die Polaris jetzt die Eidelstar. Sollten da irgendwo eine Meldung machen, dass das eventuell nicht so im Spiel funktionieren wird. Weil das wäre ja absolut lächerlich, weil es wird so viele Polaris geben und dann können die einfach immer eine Idris in einem Run einfach ausschalten oder was. Mal gucken, mal gucken. Wir haben uns einmal gedreht. Okay, gut, dann alles gut. Nevermind. Nee, tut mir leid, Chris, keine neuen.
Did you guys see that? That was amazing! Give it up for the ship team, everybody. That was amazing. We're back on the show floor at CitizenCon 2953 to show you more awesome things you guys might be missing if you're not here at the convention center. Come follow me a little bit. We're going to go on a little bit of a journey down just a leisurely Sunday road drive. And when I drive, I take my favorite vehicle for driving, the Drake Dragonfly. That's right, it is back from 2018 with a fresh new pyro paint job that you can see in the digital goodies pack if you purchase it now from the Robert Space Industries pledge store. Check it out now. JRDF did an amazing job making the Dragonfly look super pyro-themed. Look here, we have the pyro amalgamated label, I guess you would call it. I don't know what you would call it. I'm not a car guy. I'm not a Drake guy. We have like some very cool details, designs. I'm going to try and hop on it. Let's see how badly this goes. Like a glove. It's super cool being up here, actually. I didn't think it would be this cool being up here, but it feels...
Okay, jetzt dürftet ihr es nicht mehr hören. Jetzt seht ihr mich wieder und ihr seht auch... Sehr gut. Okay. Dann, jetzt mal zu den großen News hier. Brian Chambers einfach mal nonchalant hier nebenbei in einem Stream von in einem französischen Stream, glaube ich, ist das, rausgehauen. Wir hören mal rein. Und ich hoffe, ihr hört es.
He replied to the radar, we arrived and we reached the inflection point in the development of Quadrant 42.
You reached the point where you're feature complete.
Feature complete?
And beyond feature complete, now you are polishing and you're fine-tuning. And you're making sure it's balanced and you're making sure it's fun.
Also ich hoffe, ihr habt das gerade gehört. Squadron 42 laut Brian Chambers Feature Complete und jetzt kommt es aufs Polishing an. Das heißt nicht, dass schon alle Assets drin sind, dass alles Motion Capturing fertig ist und so weiter, aber es bedeutet schon was. Also das ist schon, das ist eine Aussage. Und das haut hier einfach Brian Chambers mal nebenbei raus, oder was? Das muss er wissen, was das bedeutet, ne? Okay, dann schauen wir jetzt mal auf den Sale. Und Luna, bist du noch da? Weil dann schau jetzt einfach mal weg. Feature Complete. Das heißt nicht, dass es schon komplett fertig ist, dass es vielleicht so alles, man kann es jetzt vielleicht einmal durchspielen, aber es macht noch überhaupt keinen Spaß. Und die brauchen noch 2 Jahre dafür. Oder die haben noch nicht alle Assets und Voicelines müssen noch aufgezeichnet werden oder was auch immer. Das heißt noch nicht alles, dass alles fertig ist. So, das gucken wir uns jetzt hier mal an. Da haben wir sie. Die Zeus Mark II. Ich finde ja immer noch, sie hätten vielleicht wirklich einfach das Originalding hier nochmal aufleben lassen sollen, weil ich finde das schon irgendwie, ich finde das Set irgendwie Charme. Und das muss ja nicht mal besonders gut sein. Einfach irgendwie, ich fände es cool. Ich höre gerade, ich soll wegschauen. Ich höre gerade, ich soll wegschauen. Ja. Nee, nee. Ich mache nur Spaß. Ja, ja, das war mir klar. Nix complete. Heißt nur, dass nicht noch mehr Features reinkommen. Alles, was existiert, muss trotzdem noch fertig entwickelt werden. Genau, das meine ich. Direkt mal hier Relationen richtig setzen. Aber es ist schon mal gut. Ne? Das ist trotzdem, das heißt schon mal, die sind relativ weit. Und das ist jetzt nicht sowas wie, ja, wir haben jetzt die Tools fertig gebaut, um anzufangen, das Gameplay zu machen oder so. Sondern zumindest ist da jetzt schon mal ein bisschen Substanz. So, Mark II, so, wo kommen wir denn mal zu den Interieurs, damit wir uns die nochmal in Ruhe angucken können? Habe ich die verpasst? Hier sind alle drei. Dann kommt die, das ist die SMRCL, ja. Und wo kann ich mir das Interieur ansehen? Früher hatten die immer so geile PDFs direkt verlinkt. Stück runter, noch ein Stück. Ich bin zu doof. Ach hier, Exterior. Okay, ich verstehe. Also das ist ja, noch unauffälliger hätten sie es ja nicht machen können. Das ist eine Dropdown hier. Aber gut, danke dir, Paco. So. Ich finde es interessant, dass das hier so L-förmig ist. Ich würde hier gerne draufklicken, um zu erfahren, was genau das hier ist, aber ich glaube, das ist einfach der Ausstieg, Seitenausstieg. Mit einer Leiter. Er hat ja irgendwas von einer Leiter gesagt und ich nehme an, hier kann man dann, da klappt sich irgendwas auf und dann kann man hier rauslaufen und da ist eine Leiter dann, die man runterklettern kann. Suitlockers, 3 Personen, 3 Sitze vorne. Hier hat man dann 3 Betten wohl. Hat man ja eben gesehen, dass hier über dem Bett noch eins ist. Dann ist hier linksseitig irgendwie noch eins. Kleine Küche. Das hier sieht aus wie das Bad. Nee, das hier ist doch das Bad. Das hier ist das Bad. Da ist doch hier Klo drin oder so. Geht man hier quasi durch. Hoffentlich ist da ja auch irgendwo noch ein Fenster. Ich hoffe, hier drüben ist ein Fenster und hier ist ein Fenster. Weiß nicht genau, was das hier ist. Ich sehe jetzt erstmal keine Rettungskapseln. Ich weiß nicht, ob die darauf komplett verzichtet haben. Und wenn wir hier ins Interieur gehen, haben wir... Das hier sieht ja fast größer aus schon. Ich mag diese kleinen Seitenverschläge hier, wo dann die Pods reinkommen, die Prisoner Transport Pods. Eine kleine Armory. Das finde ich auch cool. Ist auch nett. So. Und dann haben wir noch die Clipper-Variante. Da ist hier wirklich... Da geht man direkt vom Frachtraum ins Wohnareal quasi rein. Um ein bisschen Platz noch zu sparen. Ich finde, das ist vom Interieur-Layout her ziemlich gut umgesetzt. Das gefällt mir auf jeden Fall. So. Warbond 150. Ansonsten... Ach, guck mal, das sind hier sogar die Concierge-Sachen. Dann ist das hier der Concierge-Skin. Der hier. Falls ihr Concierge seid, kriegt ihr den. So, 150, 150. Interessant, beide 150. Und dann 188 für die Kampfvariante. So, und dann haben wir 166 für Upgrade. Ich gehe natürlich, ich gucke jetzt natürlich direkt mal Upgrade. Ich glaube, ich kann ja nach wie vor nur von meiner Gladius upgraden. Die ich aber vermutlich einfach behalte. So. Und natürlich ist es schon die Cutter Scout 50. Also ist echt günstig für 50 dann so im Vergleich. Ich muss immer mal auf die Uhr gucken. Ne, wir haben noch Zeit. Hier, die ES-Variante. Ach nee, ich habe ja auch noch eine Buccaneer. Von der ging es natürlich auch. Aber das mache ich nicht. Ich mache es natürlich nicht. So viele Store-Credits habe ich auch nicht rumliegen. Und jetzt nochmal kurz auf die Cutter Scout gucken. Vielleicht auch nochmal. Oh ja, schön hier. Ich wünschte echt, sie wären schon weiter mit dem ganzen Scanning-Gameplay. Kaiman? Factory Standard? Ah, okay. Ja, ganz nette Skins hier. Ach, und hier kriegt man dann die... Ja, beide. Okay. Wie lange streamst du eigentlich noch? Ist noch ein Panel und ich nehme an, danach machen sie noch so ein größeres Segment One More Thing. Also mal sehen. Okto schreibt auch schon, ich bin froh, dass ich kein Geld mehr, so übrig habe. Exakt so. Ja, am Ende des Monats ist noch so viel Schiff übrig. Ich kenne bisher nur 2 Schiffe mit Pool. Da geht noch was. Das stimmt, da geht echt noch was. Beim Exterior sieht man, glaube ich, ein Fenster. Oh, das muss ich mir nochmal angucken. Das hier? Das könnten Fensterschlitze sein. Denkst du, das hier sind Fenster? Es könnte sein, aber so wie ich CIG kenne, sind es keine. Obwohl, hier spiegelt sich das so ein bisschen gefühlt. Vielleicht sind das wirklich welche. Ja, das spiegelt sich doch hier. Okay, wenn das Fenster sind, dann geil. Dann freue ich mich sehr. Ganz vorne ist ein Fenster. Naja, gut, das Cockpit. Sieht nicht übel aus, das Schiffchen. Hat was von einer sehr kleinen Polaris. Ja, ist auch, passt auf jeden Fall in die Familie rein. Mir fehlen irgendwelche Vitol-Thruster. Ich mag Sachen, die sich rumdrehen oder so. Aber nee, es ist solide, ist total solide. Es ist halt ein Dreieck. Ich finde das hier, weil es so klobig ist, fast geiler. Einfach weil es so schön klobig ist. Finde ich es ein bisschen cooler. Aber das ist ein gutes Schiff. Also, was soll's? Gibt noch was Besseres oder was anderes nochmal für Bounty Hunter, die nochmal ein bisschen in einen anderen Style fahren wollen. Passt doch. Alles gut. Ist auch nicht so übertrieben teuer. Also warum nicht? Warum nicht? So, gucken wir mal hier Star Citizen, dass wir hier auch nichts verpassen. Natürlich muss da erstmal Werbung kommen. Ich hätte eher 240 geschätzt. Ich hätte so um die 200 gedacht. Und Luna nur so, was? Wie 150 ist eine Ansage? 150 ist voll viel. Okay, sie sind noch hier beschäftigt. Dann wollen wir auch mal hier das wieder anschalten. Ton gibt es auch gleich wieder. So, und ich mach mal ein paar Minuten Pause. Wir sehen uns dann gleich wieder. Ich lasse euch aber hier in dem Übersichtsstream und schalte nochmal die Startzeit auf 1:18. Alright, Leute, Navigating the Universe. Ich habe mich vorhin total vertan. Vorhin habe ich gemeint, morgen kommt das mit der Star Map und so weiter. Aber das ist ja heute schon das.
How you doing, Los Angeles?
Ich fand die Typen eben so geil, die im Publikum einfach da saßen und halt den Scheibenwischer gemacht haben. Das machen viel zu wenige.
Hi.
Als Begrüßung.
My name's David, but everyone calls me Bone. Don't ask. Or maybe ask me later.
Das ist geil. Hi, alle nennen mich Bone.
So,
aber
my
frag
job
mich
is
warum.
to oversee all the technical implementation of the UI across the company. And if I'm lucky, I get to do some programming from time to time. At previous CitizenCon, one in the flesh, in Manchester, I talked about UI tech with my friend and colleague, Zain Bien. And we were making new tools and technology to help our developers to develop their UI. So that was a few years ago now, and now I'm really privileged to share with you how this technology has been utilized by our talented designers to help improve your experience in the verse. So, along with some of my UI friends that are hidden out the back there, we'd like to show you some of these improvements which are going to help you, the players, navigate the Star Citizen universe.
Also für viele ist das der erste Auftritt hier auf der CitizenCon oder so, oder generell bei CIG vor der Kamera zu stehen.
Well, Star Citizen is big.
Von daher größten
really
Respekt an alle, die das machen.
There's so many unique places, massive planets, moons, space stations, rest stops, you know, there's just loads of places to explore. We have a huge range of spaceships of all shapes and sizes. And there's an enormous amount of things to do and see and people to meet. And all this can be shared with friends online. And as we've seen today, as our amazing online technology grows, it takes great leaps, and our online player count grows, the possibilities become almost endless. So how are we going to make sense of all this? Right. Well, one of the main ways we do this is with a user interface, or UI for short. Well, that's where we come in, fortunately, being the UI guys. And we do this in loads of ways that you see already, whether it's your vehicle MFDs, or the HUD, or the kiosks, where you get your spaceship, or you trade commodities, or buy weapons, and all manner of diegetic UIs that you see, diegetic meaning like things in the world that you can interact with. But our first real opportunity is through the helmet visor display. Now, the visor display gives you vital information about your status and the environment around you. But this display has gone through many iterations over the years, and it's been built upon and adapted.
Das gute alte Arena Commander 1.0 Interface.
Arena Commander 1.0, that came out.
Das war richtig gut. Da konntest du wirklich mit der Tastatur dein Schiff managen. Du konntest durch das UI durchklicken und Dinge mit deinem Schiff machen. Ohne Maus.
The visor was geared towards that. And then it evolved with our first ventures into the online universe. And as all the features get added and all these new things, the visor grows and we put things on it to show you, different statuses and like tells you all about what's going on. But with all this evolution, we sometimes lose focus. There's so much we need to know, and when we need to know it is important. So how do we zero in on what's important and at what time? So leaning on this technology that Zain and I and the UI tech team wrote a few years ago, we're trying to take a smarter perspective and rework the visor for you. So I'm not going to tell you about that. I'm going to invite Simon Bursey onto the stage, and he can tell you more about it. Simon?
Ja, bisher ein wenig trocken, das stimmt. Aber ich lasse mich noch abholen.
Hey everybody. Okay, so Star Citizen, as you know, is a big project which has evolved over its lifetime. Early on in the project, we added the visor, which is the display you see on your helmet when you're walking around the universe in first person. Because the game is always expanding, we often add new gameplay features, and with those come new UI. The various teams slotted pieces into whatever place made sense at the time, but this eventually meant the view became very
Ja,
complex.
Audio ist wieder in Ordnung.
As you can see, the current live UI can get very cluttered. We have lots of information competing for your attention, so you don't always know where to look, and sometimes the overlaps can make things difficult to read. So, as you can probably tell, the UI team wanted to do a redesign. We wanted to improve the player's experience by presenting the important information in a clear way. We also needed to create a new framework that supports all the existing features and allows us to add more in future. And finally, we wanted to bring the visuals up to the high standard we're setting for Squadron 42 and soon the Star Citizen persistent universe. So how do we go about that? I believe user interface should always be a collaboration with the teams who build the underlying features. So we worked closely with them on a new layout, keeping some pieces, combining others, and maybe getting rid of a few. Once we'd figured out the design, we built a new framework using our 3D UI system, and then we worked closely with the various game teams to take all that complex data that existed before and hook it up to the new user interface. When we designed player-facing UI, we often tried to start with the worst case first, so we can see everything we have to deal with. It was important for us to keep the central area as clear as possible to make it easier for you to see the underlying game. We designed a set of regions that attach to the different parts of the view, and with each of those, we have a set of widgets that can show, hide, and stack when you need them. So, I've told you about everything we wanted to achieve, but wouldn't it be great to see it in game?
Ja.
Does anybody here want to see a live demonstration?
Ja, bitte. Ich fände es immer gut, wenn Sie bei sowas immer direkt mal mit ein bisschen was Visuellem starten.
Otherwise it would have been a very short demo. Okay, so we're going to show you some of our new UI running live in the game. Everything you see is in real time, but I have to tell you we've created a special mission just for the show, which is a little different to what you see in the live game. Okay, so as you can see, Bones driving. I'm going to say Bones' name a lot, and the other guys too, so it's probably the most times you'll hear that in any presentation. Okay, welcome to the Reysn Providence platform. You may have spotted it earlier, but today is the first time we've shown the new visor we developed and tested in Squadron 42.
Ja, das wäre geil im Haku.
But you'll be happy to know all the UI you see today
Auch
is going to
Farbe
make its way to
einstellbar
Star
und so.
Citizen. But this is secret UEE Navy tech, so we'll give it a different look for the persistent universe. As you can see, the display is very clean by default. Many of the elements are contextual, meaning they appear when you need them to avoid cluttering the screen. We've also temporarily hidden a couple of things so we can focus on them later in this demo. Okay, Bone, let's move into the scene, please.
All right.
Dass ihn Bone nennt, wird nur so cringe, weil der Typ sich vorher vorgestellt hat als My name is Bone und fragt mich nicht warum.
And you can see that our first mission is to repair a radiation.
Ja, wann kommt der
We've
Crash?
done a major
Okay, sehr
overhaul
geil.
of the augmented reality marker system, so we can follow the yellow on-screen marker to get to our objective. At the top of the screen, you'll also see the compass. Okay, Bone, let's head towards the objective. We were already happy with the way the player status widgets worked, showing you contextual information about your character and environment. So we've given them some visual polish and added a few new ones.
Ist wichtig, in welchem Winkel man gerade schaut, deswegen wird sowohl links als auch rechts
The
angezeigt, in
environmental
welchem
radiation
Winkel
here
man
is quite
gerade nach
high,
unten und
and
oben
over
schaut.
time it will wear down our suit
Das
and
macht mich
damage the
total
player.
fertig. Das
Looks
macht
like we can see the
bitte.
source of the radiation there.
Ihr könnt doch nicht die ganze Zeit mir eine Zahl, die je nachdem, wie ich mich hoch und runter bewege, ändert.
If we were in space, we could use a salvage and repair ship. Luckily, UEE have some advanced portable tech. Bone, please equip the military multi-tool. The military multi-tool from Squadron 42 has various modes, one of which gives us the ability to salvage and repair while on foot. Okay, Bone, let's use the multi-tool to repair that pipe.
Warum haben wir das nicht alle, dieses Military Multi-Tool?
Okay. Right, we can see at the bottom left of the screen, the radiation levels are decreasing.
Cool, cool.
So let's head into the scene. Go on, Bone. Let's walk forwards a bit. Okay, now we fixed the damage, we need to find the enemies that caused it. While we're on the way, you'll notice that the on-foot emissions at the top of the screen. We're emitting infrared, electromagnetic radiation, and also sound. If any of these go higher than the background levels, it will be easier for the enemies to detect us. Let's take a look at the bad guys, Bone. As part of the emissions and radar tech, we also have the ability to scan while we're on foot. If we tap the button, we can do a quick scan to reveal info about anything that's in our view currently. Okay, Bone, let's do a quick scan. This highlights whatever's in our line of sight.
Cool.
There's also some risk and reward to the scanning system. By holding the button, we can charge our scanner, and this reveals enemies through walls using a more powerful wave. But it does cause a spike in our emissions, which makes us easier to detect. Okay, let's do a charge scan, please, Bone. Okay. We can also see the augmented reality box outs, which give us a summary of what we've detected. Okay, let's have a look at our weapons. Let's get the gun out, please, Bone. Okay, we wanted to help the player see their equipment during combat, so we upgraded the weapons
sehr
display.
cyberpunkig.
As well as the ammo in the gun and the spare mags in their pockets, we also now show the player's explosives and med pens. Okay, let's fight the bad guys. There you can see our new explosives marker, designed to help you spot deadly grenades, mines, and missiles more easily.
Oh ja, entschuldigt. Hier. Das gucken wir uns jetzt einfach mal so an.
You do it? Okay. Well done, Bone.
Yeah, woohoo, oh yeah.
Success. Okay.
Da werden einfach ihre Knochen
There's no more
angezeigt.
hostiles nearby, so let's take a moment to talk about the Moby Glass. The Moby Glass is the Star Citizen equivalent of your smartphone. It has various apps that hook into the gameplay systems.
Moby Glass.
Like all the UI we're showing you today, we wanted to redesign it with the player's usability in mind. To make it look good,
Das haben sie
and
vorher
also
nie gemacht.
lay the groundwork for future expansion. Let's bring up the Moby Glass, please, Bone.
Ja, es wäre so lustig gewesen, wenn er gestorben wäre im Packen. Ui. Es sieht neu aus.
Pretty cool, huh? We've redesigned the interface to give a smoother user experience. We've overhauled the visuals, as you can see, to make it feel more three-dimensional and holographic. This is actually a sneak peek of the UEE military Moby Glass we've created for Squadron 42. This version has a focused selection of apps, and we're going to expand on that when we bring the Moby Glass to the Star Citizen Persistent Universe.
Star Map,
We'll
Star
also
Map.
have more of a smartphone feel in the PU with a wider range of apps. Okay, let's briefly talk about this home screen. It gives us an overview of our health, the environment, and even our ship. We can also check our mission objective. Okay, so
Kein Problem, Inox. Ich wünsche dir noch viel Spaß bei Baldur's Gate 3. Kann ich total nachvollziehen.
Just around the corner. And to tell you a bit more about that is the very talented Zane Bien.
Throughout human history, as we have ventured towards the allure of the unknown, we have used cartography as a key component to help shape our understanding and make sense of the world around us. Without these systems in place to catalog our experiences and to chart our journeys, we are forever lost amidst our own environment, and we are just running around aimlessly. This is why it is super important that you, as citizens of our ever-growing, ever-evolving, persistent universe, are equipped with the tools necessary to make your ventures meaningful. So, with that said, I want to show you something that I think is extremely cool. So, Bone, our next objective is to go to the map kiosk and download a terminal.
Ja, als ob er uns wirklich... Und er geht auch zum Shop. Also er will uns wirklich was verkaufen.
Let's go ahead and activate it. What you see on screen, zoom out a bit, what you see on screen is a fully live 3D representation of the environment that we are in.
Okay. Cool. Warum habe ich das nicht auf meinem Mobiglas? Just asking.
You can see callouts of the various default points of interest. You can pan the map around, you can rotate it, and you can even cycle the floors that you're on to isolate the visuals of the floor that you're on. So our current objective, it's much more interesting if we can actually take this
Und das
on the
Licht
go.
blendet.
So let's download it to our databank.
Oh! Now we are talking! Now
As
we
you'll
are
notice,
talking.
we now have the representation of the environment in the upper left corner of our visor.
Oh, entschuldigt, Leute. Entschuldigt. So. Ich habe selbst nicht gesehen, weil ich drüber war.
Now, the thing that's really interesting to note at this point is not all environments will have such a convenient kiosk available. You may encounter run-down settlements, or you might come across a cave that no one else has ever set foot on before. What will happen in this instance
Ich bin die Karte.
is your radar will incrementally update your map, and it will incrementally reveal your environment and save that to your databank. So you kind of reveal it incrementally.
Okay,
so
cool.
This map, what we see in the upper left corner of our visor, is not really just a map. What it really is actually data. It's our radar. And we can see contacts on our radar as we scan. And it's basically what we have available stored in our databank. So because we have the location data saved to our databank, we can obviously access that via our Mobiglass. So let's go ahead and pull it up in our Mobiglass, because this is going to get really interesting.
Ja, da kann man applaudieren. Wir haben eine Map.
So, Bone, I would like you to cycle between the different floors for us, please. So you can see this lerping transition between the different floors and marker callouts of our objective and also where we are. I would like to talk a little bit about the tech behind this. What you're seeing is not a pre-baked asset. And I want to reiterate that, because all of our environments can be very dynamic, and they can change. they can take damage. Perhaps economic shifts might cause changes in the environment. And we can't export totally custom assets. So what we've done is we collaborated with our graphics team to enable us to render the environment in this way. And what it is we're actually whitelisting objects that we render and excluding everything that we don't need to render. So in our level markup, we basically have the designers and artists mark up only the bits that are necessary for the map. This lets us have a very compelling visual, but without much of the cost. So I think what we can do at this point, what I want to show you is something very interesting. So
Man kann Marker setzen, seht
you
ihr
might
das?
look around on this map and note down
Und eine
certain
Route kann man
areas
auch
that
setzen?
might look interesting that we might want to revisit later. We can see some
Noch direkt
doors
pingen
on
von dort
this
aus.
map, and these doors are entities that are called out on the map, and they may change state. So there can be some doors which have a locked state, which they will display red. And doors that are open will be green. And there are other entity callouts that can happen in our map.
Ja, in Paco, dann ist sie quasi
So let's go ahead and find a
das ist auch
location
3 Kilometer
to put down a
entfernt,
pin, please, Bone.
nehme ich an. Also die Map von der Station ist dann auch 1:1. Wenn es alles Ingame-Assets sind, siehst du dann halt 3 Kilometer entfernt deinen Hangar.
Maybe that door looks interesting. Press T. So,
Yes,
what
Marker,
we can
Marker.
do is set a marker, and we can customize.
Ja, man hört die
We can
Leute
customize
jubeln.
the details of that marker. Now, what you'll notice as well as we set markers, there's metadata that is encoded into each of these markers on top of the customized name that we can specify. So we can mark as many markers as we want in this map. And these are all saved to our data bank, and we can eventually share these markers and even sell these markers on the market. So the thing about this, we can't really talk about markers without mentioning data running.
Wann? Das ist eine gute Frage.
So you might specialize in exploration, whereas perhaps a miner might specialize in the equipment, and they make investments in their equipment. So you, as an explorer, might be in the business of going around and exploring and finding locations that are very valuable to other professions. And the role of these markers are very important in coming up with the data and so it's very important. We can basically, when you name your markers, you can make it as maybe obvious, or you can leave it a mystery. So you'll have, when you sell it on the market, you could get rated for how accurate the data is.
Oh, yeah.
So the other thing is we have a mission objective as well. And it would be very nice to be able to route to that mission objective.
Man kann so viele setzen, wie
How
man
do
will,
we
hat er
get there?
gesagt.
That is another purpose of the map, is basically navigating and letting us know the way towards that objective, towards a destination. So let's go ahead and plot a route to this objective.
Ui. Fancy. Das ist fancy.
So we can see a line being drawn from where we are up the stairs to our destination and where we want to go. So you'll no longer be lost amidst all of our super complex environments. And what's worth mentioning at this point, and what's really cool, is this under the hood is actually utilizing another piece of tech, AI pathfinding. And so what that allows us to do is leverage other existing tech to basically, it does all the heavy lifting, we just make it look pretty. So because of that, there are certain cases where the path might be blocked. It might have a locked door, or there might be a fire that is in our way. The AI pathfinding will account for that. It will go through doors, it will handle elevators, and it will handle fires, locked doors, and it will just handle everything. So that is an example of sort of a piece of tech that we've leveraged under the hood to help us achieve this goal.
Cool.
So, one last thing we can do at the moment is we want to ensure that there are no more hostiles in our way as we make our way to our objective. So what we can do is we can send out a ping. Bone, if you send out a ping, please. So the scanning will also be represented in the map in the same fashion as it is when you're in FPS. So we know that there's no more hostiles. Let's go ahead and make our way to our objective. As you can see in the upper left corner, we now have the route line represented, our destination, and the distance it takes to get there. As we traverse this path, the path automatically updates, and if you deviate from that path, it will recalculate the route you need to get to your destination.
Geil.
So there's our buddy.
Alles klar,
flying
Schatzi.
in.
Schlaf gut, meine Süßmaus. Ich liebe dich.
So we'll make our way up to the Carrack here. To the right.
Okay, Carrack, yeah.
You'll also notice the pin that we've laid down, as well as our marker objective called out on the map. And as you'll notice, as we head up the stairs, the floor will dynamically change as you head up the stairs.
Ist gerade hingefallen?
If we can get past this first bit. If we don't trip up. So as we make our way into the Carrack, it's not just environments or caves or cities. We can represent the ship on our interior.
Geil.
And it's totally seamless as you transition between the two. So let's go ahead and pull up our mobi-glass again and get a wider view of our ship. So we are now on the technical deck, but we can also see the other floors. If you traverse the floors, Bone, just to demonstrate it. Here's our cartography deck. Down one. And our habitation deck. So you will have noticed from a previous presentation that this was very similar looking, right? It's utilizing our tech. So not only will this benefit you as a player, but it also benefits us as developers. Because we generalize this system so that other developers can leverage our map to create compelling gameplay. So
was soll ich sagen? Ist richtig
other
geil.
teams can
Ist richtig
tech,
gute Map-Lösung.
and we leverage the tech from other teams, and it's a circle of life. And I think that's just too cool for school.
Aber die Reclaimer hat doch nur eine einzige Ebene.
So,
also er hat vorne einen Fahrstuhl, hinten einen Fahrstuhl, aber dazwischen ist es nur eine Ebene eigentlich.
Environments,
naja, ist egal.
cities,
ich bin ja selbst öfter mal in Schiffen verloren gegangen.
On our map, maybe
in der
planet
890
terrain.
Jump zum Beispiel.
These are quite I mean, our universe is quite big, right? That's only a small fraction of what our universe is. What happens? Have we tried this? What happens if we just take your mouse wheel and just zoom out a little bit?
Oi, oi, oi.
Keep going. Keep zooming out, all the way out, all the way out. Let's go, let's go. So, it's not just the interior map, it's not just the radar, it is the map. It is one single unified system just across different scales. And
Das ist sehr geil.
I want, at this point...
Das bedeutet, Marker gehen überall, oder was?
We are above Crusader, and at this point I want to invite Emily Hansen onto the stage to talk about the map as seen at this scale. Thank you very much, everybody.
Ja, oh mein Gott, sie tun es! Sie tun es!
Hello, CitizenCon! Are you ready for this?
Ja, das ist doch mal ein Einstieg.
Do you want to click on the marker?
Genau, man muss die Marke nur noch teilen und verkaufen
This
können.
is the star map.
Was sind das für komische Symbole, die da rumfliegen um Reysn? Warum?
I'm so excited to be here today to reveal this to you all. I hope you're excited too. Now, I think we all know the current star map needed a bit of work. And we've done that. Now, mapping the universe is no easy task, but we've taken some big steps forward with this upgrade to make it so much easier for you to navigate the stars. Before we dive into the details, let's just take a second to admire Crusader's new look. Bone, why don't you take a look around?
Sieht kacke aus.
Much like the interior map, the star map is holographic. And this lets us add some cool interference effects and details to our planet textures. You can also see our improved player marker and that we're currently at Reysn. The player and location markers have merged at this scale because they're so close together. The player marker takes priority, which is why the marker displays the player icon and color. By smartly merging with bigger points of interest at larger scales, the player marker always remains visible to you.
Das ist
You'll
sehr gut.
always know where you are relative to points of interest near and far. So, is everyone ready to see more?
Ja. Zeigen Sie uns mehr. Bitte.
Bone, let's take the step back button. That's the one on the right over here. So we can see, take a look at Crusader and all of its moons.
Nice. Und das sieht auch endlich mal aus, das sieht jetzt schon aus wie ein richtiges Map-System für diese Gruppe von Planeten, was ich sehr geil finde. Und nicht wie ein komischer kleiner Teil irgendwie von irgendwas.
Orbits. You can also see that labels have received a major visual update. They're now fully 3D, and this gives them a really cool perspective. Most labels are aligned to the galactic plane, and they rotate with the map. Bone, give the map a spin.
Warum ist das
Bone?
gut?
Can you tilt past the horizon,
Aber na
please?
gut. Ist jetzt auch nicht schlecht.
Cool. When we do this, the labels flip so you can always read them clearly.
Bis auf man guckt sich halt von der Seite an, dann nicht. Also ich weiß nicht, warum das gut sein soll, dass man das einfach aus manchen Winkeln nicht lesen kann.
Labels
Aber
for
ist
city
okay.
markers and outposts
Ist okay.
work
Ich
a
werde
little
die
bit
Genialität
differently.
noch begreifen.
Bone, let's double click on Selin now to focus on it.
Okay, ja. Points of Interest. Ich weiß nicht, warum da so komische Dinger da rumfliegen. Die machen das Ganze nur...
Ach,
das bedeutet, wenn man was auswählt. Ach so, okay.
Bone, want to show this in action?
Okay. Ach nee. Ach, warum blendet sich das so langsam
Markers on the
ein?
far side of the planet fade out.
Oh,
So they
bitte
don't
sagt mir,
take
ihr habt
focus
wenigstens
on the
eine
locations you
Suchfunktion
currently
oder
care
so.
more about on the near side of the planet. Bone, can you double click on one of the points of interest? As we selected this marker, its label will stay visible at all angles.
Okay, ja.
So far, we've showed you that you can use
I'm
buttons
steady.
and double-clicking to jump to objects you're interested in. But wouldn't it be nice if you could also freely zoom out and into locations? Shall we try it, Bone? Let's zoom out until we can see Crusader.
Also ich hätte es auch komisch gefunden, wenn die Schrift auf einmal spiegelverkehrt ist, sobald man es von unten anguckt.
We wanted to ensure you have freedom to move around, but this flexibility requires us to be really careful about how and when markers appear. Markers need to disappear when they get too small, but also stay visible when
Da
they're
ist
still
keine
relevant to
Suchleiste
your
mehr.
view.
Da ist nur Select.
This isn't simple
Ich weiß nicht, was man
because
selectet.
objects in a solar system are vastly different sizes. Think about the size of a star versus a planet versus you, the player. You're kind of small compared to a star, right?
Nein. Frechheit,
Our
dass sie solche
solution is a
Behauptungen
technique
aufstellt.
we call cosmetic scaling. This allows us to draw a marker at its real size when we are close to it and artificially increase its size as we zoom out until we reach the point where it collapses into larger points of interest in the hierarchy. You can see this in action here. There's no way Crusader and its moons are this size at this scale in reality. They've been scaled up massively so you can see them.
Ja, das
Bone,
ist gut.
let's zoom out a bit more so we can see the moons disappear.
Cool. Also es ist auf jeden
You can
Fall
also start to see Crusaders
tausendmal
orbit
besser als
line
das,
around
was
the
wir
sun
aktuell
here.
haben. So oder so,
Before we
egal,
go back,
auch wenn ich mich bei einigen Sachen
Before we
gerade
move on to
beschwere.
that, let's zoom back in so we can see everything come back as we get closer.
Mal ganz davon
As well
abgesehen,
as
dass es
zoom,
geil
you
aussieht.
can also pan around the map unrestricted. Bone, feel free to have a quick look around. As we draw closer to a marker, the cursor automatically magnetizes to it. This ensures you never lose track of what you're trying to view when you zoom in. No more zooming in on empty space.
Ja. Das war
Bone,
tatsächlich
let's
nervig
use
immer.
this technique to take a closer look at Yayla. The magnetic cursor does not require us to click on markers. Keep zooming in. Bone, can you keep zooming in? Thank you. You can see that the surface markers appear without us needing to select Yayla itself. Imagine how much easier finding that outpost will be now. Crusader, as you all know, isn't all there is, though. We've got a pretty big universe out here. Do you want to see some more?
Ja.
Let's
Gerne.
have a look at a location further afield. Can we just pan to Calliope, maybe? Bone, let's give that a try. Yeah, I think we're getting lost. Pretty sure we can all disagree this might not be the best strategy. So what can we do? Bone, let's try clicking on the middle button over here. This returns us to our previously selected marker. As I mentioned, we did not select Yayla, so we've gone back to Selin. So now we know where we are. That's a step in the right direction, but we're still not at Calliope. So we need to find a different way. Bone, could you use the step back button until we can see the whole solar system, please? And there it is.
Kein anderes Spiel kriegt, glaube ich, Applaus für eine Map von so einer Sternkarte.
I think Calliope
Aber
is
es
one
ist
of
cool.
Microtech's moons. So if we
wir
double
sind
click
durch
on
viel
that
Leid
bone,
durch mit der
we should be
Star-Map.
able to see it. And there it is. Bone, let's pan to it and then zoom in so we can see that magnetic cursor in action again. Can you zoom in, Bone? Thank you. It's so cool to see more of our moons and planets and how different they all look.
Ja, ja,
Okay.
auf jeden Fall. Das ist
So,
direkt viel cooler
this is
so.
great. But what if I hadn't already known where Calliope was? Surely there's a faster way. We've got you. We've provided a drop-down that lists the points of interest in the solar system. Bone?
Aber ich hätte gerne auch
Want to
eine
expand it
Suchleiste.
now?
So, jetzt kommt der Select-Button. Bitte da jetzt eine Suchleiste ganz oben auch noch, damit man eine Location direkt eingeben kann, wenn man den Namen schon kennt. Ansonsten müssen wir da halt irgendwann durch 100
We're actively
Locations
working on
durchscrollen.
ways to improve the way this list is presented to you, to make it even easier to find what you're looking for. And yes, this will include search functionality.
Yes, danke. 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 Das wollte ich doch nur hören. Das wollte ich doch nur hören.
But for now, Bone, let's use this to go to Ariel.
Sehr cool. Sehr cool. Das braucht wirklich nur noch jetzt eine Suchleiste und dann
I
ist geil. Dann
absolutely
ist
love
perfekt.
zooming around on this map. Bone, want to find Area 18 for me?
Na gut, ist direkt da drüber.
So, Area 18 is currently on
Das
the
macht
dark
es,
side of the
ja,
planet.
auf jeden
it
Fall
seems.
macht es 100% viel leichter mit dem
Of
Navigieren.
course, it's not just planets and moons. Bone, how about we take a look at Security Post Korea?
Ist es wenigstens
Quite a long way
alphabetisch
down,
sortiert?
isn't it? This is where the upcoming
Ja.
search will really come in useful. Bone, want to zoom in a little and show off our holographic model of this station?
Cool, ja. Okay.
Bone, can you also drop down again, please? Thank you. As you may have noticed, the recent list in the drop-down populates as you click on locations in the list. It will remember your 3 most recent selections, so you can use this to quickly return to places in case you
Ja,
want to check something out again.
das ist praktisch,
Bone,
das ist sehr
let's use
praktisch.
this to
Also
go
das
back to
konnten sie
Ariel.
schon machen, aber noch keine Suchleiste. Das ist wirklich praktisch für Trading und so.
Okay, so we've done a lot of
Moin.
exploring. I think it's time that we head back. We could do this by selecting Orison from the list, but we also have our own marker that we can take advantage of here. The eagle-eyed amongst you may have noticed that the player marker clamps to the edge of the map, keeping it visible to you no matter how far away you go. To get back to
Ja,
our
ja, ich wollte auch
position,
gerade sagen, Merlin
we could double-click
guckt
that
gerade
marker,
die Zeus
or
an.
we could click the first of the navigation buttons to zoom straight there. Now, I'm sure many of you have been wondering if we can go back to our Carrack map from the star map, just like how we got here from the Carrack map just a few minutes ago. So, let's see what happens when we focus on our player marker. Go ahead, Bone.
Nice, da sind wir wieder. Jetzt muss das nur noch die Maps genauso auch noch auf Planeten funktionieren und dann haben wir alles, was wir brauchen.
All right. So yeah, here's our Carrack again. Being able to simply zoom between these map contexts lets you draw meaningful connections between what's on the ground and what's in the skies like never before. Bone, just for fun, let's zoom all the way back out so we can see the entire Stanton solar system. It's just so cool to watch the verse open up before our eyes.
Nice, nice.
With all these new possibilities for moving around the
Brauchst
star
einen
map, you
separaten
should never
PC
find
Freeze
yourself
für die.
lost again. The controls are so much smoother and easier to use than the star map you're all used
Ich glaube,
to.
du siehst
As
alle
I hope
Schiffe
Bone
dann,
agrees.
auf denen du bist.
Knowing that what we've shown here today is just the beginning for the upgraded star map. You saw pinning in the local map, and we'll add this to the star map before you get it. Just
Okay,
imagine
also das geht
being
noch
able
nicht,
to
aber
mark
das
something
kommt noch.
interesting you find out there in the verse, and then sharing that location with friends, just like Zane said. Exploration is about to get a lot more interesting, and we're doing everything we can to ensure the star map is your brightest window to the stars yet. And now, let's welcome our intrepid demo driver, Bone, back to the stage.
Thanks, Emily. Thanks a lot. So we're really, really excited about getting all these features into your hands of the players of Star Citizen and Squadron 42. We know they're going to make a huge difference to the way you make your way around the universe. So let's just quickly review what we've seen. We've rebuilt the visor display to give you a better understanding of the environment around you.
Aber das ist für Squadron 42.
With the integrated radar.
Das Mobiglas ist von Squadron 42. Das Multitool ist von Squadron 42. Alles, was wir gesehen haben, ist eigentlich Squadron 42-spezifisch und noch nicht wirklich fürs Verse bereit.
There's a new Mobiglas coming with its sleek new design. We're improving all the existing apps, and we're going to develop some new ones too along the way. So we've got a video now. And then there's our interior map technology, which will truly help you understand your surroundings. Better awareness of your surroundings and threats, exploring new mapping new areas, pinning locations for later and sharing these with your friends. Oh, the Idris. That looks great.
Ja, nice. Ich glaube, wir befinden uns gerade in der Datenbank. Ist das wahr? Ich weiß es nicht. Mal ist das Marker Databank auf der rechten, mal auf der linken Seite.
Reysn? And of course, our entirely new integrated star map with its new interface and, let's face it, a much needed refresh to the user experience. No more getting lost, a whole new perspective. With all these upcoming features, where will you explore today? Thank you very much. Cheers.
Ja, cool. Ja, cool. Dann bin ich ja jetzt mal gespannt, ob es jetzt noch das One More Thing gibt oder ob das jetzt einfach Schluss war. Weil es kann natürlich auch sein.
Sorry. Okay. I was back there trying to figure out how to reprogram my Alexa to respond to Bone. Bone, add Cheerios to the grocery list. Bone, rescue the hostages. Dave Haddock, if we don't have that in the narrative, I'm going to find you. Guys, that's it for day one of CitizenCon. What'd you think?
Ich denke, ich mache Home, also wenn man neue Location wieder wählen muss, dann wieder Crusader vermutlich.
That is a heck of a day one. You want to do it again tomorrow? We saw Star Engine and all the amazing improvements that are coming to Star Citizen and Squadron 42.
Holt sich nochmal ein bisschen Applaus
We saw
ab.
the next step in the evolution of resource management and the birth of multi-crew gameplay. We saw the ship guys. And of course, come on, the star map, the interior map, everything.
Ich glaube, Jared ist gerade auch so erleichtert und froh, dass er das zeigen kann.
I often joke that we're just like you in many of the same ways. We want the same things. We need the same things. We have all collectively, all 1,300 of us working for Cloud Imperium Games, been like, when Star Map? When? To see it. So good. So yeah, this wraps up day one. I'm going to tell you that Hall B is going to be open for about another 2 hours. So if you haven't had a chance to check out the Pyro Playground and all that stuff, go ahead and do that. Tomorrow, be sure you come back. We got character advancement. That's Ian Leyland, Sean Tracy, Forrest Steffen, and Andre Perez. I really want to tell you what you're going to see, but you're not going to want to miss it. If you thought the opening to day one was hot, check out the opening to day two. We got life in the first person. We got our FPS crew. They're going to show you how all of these things integrate into the FPS combat experience. We got taking flight with Yogi. Who doesn't love Yogi? It's another live demo where they're going to show you the space flight and atmospheric flight experience that's been developed with master modes and through Squadron 42. We got Living on the Edge and Destination Adventure, a two-part look at all the new locations that are coming.
Mozart,
the Pyro
ich
system,
glaube,
the Stanton system, and
ich würde sehr gerne früher machen, aber das ist vermutlich nicht möglich. Was ist gerade passiert? Ich hab nicht zugehört.
I've been here 9 years. I got to make it to 10. So yeah, everybody, from the bottom of my heart and standing here in front of the 1,300 people who make this game possible, thank you for joining us for CitizenCon. Come back tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific. We'll see you then. Day one was great. You ain't seen nothing yet. Take care, everybody.
Dann mal. Geil. Dann gibt's wohl morgen auch noch mal was Großes. Ich glaube, Chris Roberts wird sich nicht nehmen lassen, noch mal Hype zu schüren. Leute, war schön mit euch. Ich hoffe, ihr schlaft jetzt gut und seid vielleicht morgen auch wieder mit dabei. Selbe Zeit dann wieder ab 20 Uhr hier live. Und ich hoffe, morgen fällt nicht direkt um 20 Uhr wieder mein Internet aus. Eieiei, da ging aber was ab. Also, war schön mit euch. Danke für die rege Chat-Beteiligung und wir sehen uns dann morgen. Habt eine schöne Nacht. Ich genieße noch kurz die Musik. Bis morgen.